everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. Please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I had hoped for a Christmas miracle. It didn't happen. Hell, I didn't even break at 200. And I had a whole bunch of people subscribe and then unsubscribe. So anyways, I could use all the help I can get. Maybe this year will do better than last year. 150 likes for the year, give or take. I hovered at 148, 49. I'd get one, I'd lose one, I'd get one, I'd lose one. It was just like that all year. So anyways, the Christmas decorations are coming down. My bookcase is getting there. Laurel is going home. She's still over there. She'd switch places with Janet. Janet is going home and Laurel is going home. And I just thought I'd show you my Janet before she went home, because she's going there. She used to share the bookcase with Catherine Coulter, and I moved Catherine Coulter to her own bookcase because she got so many. But we haven't seen any from Catherine Coulter in a while. But this is Janet's home. Above, if you watch my Star Trek Next Generation videos, you see the white cabinets that I inherited from my grandmother that take up way too much space. But there are 4 cubes up there, and it worked better than building bookcases. And if you see the lights, they're blue. I will have to show a picture one day, but I cover this whole thing with white felt, and then I put a bunch of snowmen across, so it looks like a wintry scene. It's stupid. Kmart had a special one year. Do you remember Kmart? Where is... my little snowmen. I put a whole row of snowmen across the white cabinet. So, and then I put this field of snow down this curtain, this tapestry that I bought for $10. And it just looks snowy. And then the tree and the houses go this way. So anyways, Janet is going home. Laurel is going home. And this is spoilers. Spoilers. We have to wait a year now. One of the things I like about binge reading, I think I binge read. I like to wait till an author gets 10 or 12 books in before I start binge reading. A small confession here. I will never read Michael Connelly. My mother died, and she was halfway through Angel's Flight. And it just hit me like a rock in a hard place, and I just can't do it. I just can't pick up his books. Because I instantly remember that my mother died in the middle of his book, and I had to return it to the library. And one of the things that I like with Laurel, the fact that we're not going to see a wedding till 2026, or the fact that I have to wait a year now, I'm always afraid that I won't be here when the next book comes out. It's stupid, but you never know. You could die in a car accident tomorrow. You could die in a plane crash the next day. And it's just, only with books do I feel that way. So that's why I like to get a really long series. And you know, like we're doing J.D. Robb this month. We'll finish up my J.D. Robbs in time for the new Ransom and Death to come out. And I really love this series because it takes a while. And you can stretch it. And if you do it right, you can stretch it till the next book comes out. Of course, then when you finish binge reading, you're lost. You're like, what am I supposed to do now? And you go crazy. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks after I finish JD to get my head framed back in the mind. And I usually go to Janet, but I've done Janet and JD at the same time this year. So we are doing Dirty 30, and I wanted to show you some extra stuff. When I read the book, I take the cover off, so I'm not hurting the cover. I want to save the jacket. I want to save it in as pristine condition as I can. My cats tried to take the necklace off the book. I have bling cats. They like silver. They like paper clips. and Twisty Ties. One cat is strictly a mouse cat, the little furry mousies, and one cat is strictly a ball cat. She likes little balls, little sparkly balls. The boy, if he touches their toys, they kill him. So there's also all these book plates, she calls them. Laurel did these two for a while, I think. And these are all the book plates. And I did manage a while ago. We used to have, before the email evaluation, we used to have Plum News. Before we got the internet and emails and stuff going, and Facebook going, we used to have the Plum News. And the other books we were talking about, what did I do with them now? They're here. But they were in the... I also have a couple of the stickers. And those are the same as the ones in here. These are mine. I might put these with this book. 30-30, they match. And I think I'll put the newsletter in here too. We'll put them together when I finish. Okay, so I also wanted to mention that there are some other books. We won't do them. I might do the heist though. Janet had a little series where she had a similar Stephanie character who actually caught people. And she did them with Lee Goldberg. There's 9 books in this series. We may do that eventually one day. And again, I'm an audiobook person. So check that out. But here we go. 1 for the money, 2 for the dough, 3 to get deadly, 4 score. 5. Where's 5? All right, 5. Where'd you go? Huh? She's here. We read her. We'll have to find her. Hot 6. Hot. Oh, there's 5. What am I saying? There you go. Hot 5. Hot 6. 7 up. Hard 8 to the 9s. Big 10s. 11 on top. Sharp 12 sharp. Lean mean 13. Oops, we're out of water. I'll fix it when we put it away. Feelers 14. Finger licking 15. Sizzling 16. Smoking 17. Explosive 18. Notorious 19. Takedown 20. Top Secret 21. Tricky 22. Turbo 23. Hardcore 24. Look Alive 25. Twisted 26. Fortune and Glory 27. Game On 28. And Going Rogue 29. And in the past couple of books, if you've noticed, Stephanie's been doing a lot of contemplating about her life. I should show you. There were also some other with Diesel and Wolf series. The In Between the Numbers, Plum Spooky, Plum Lovin'. These are all going to go back up there. Wicked Appetite. Visions of Sugar Plum. Plum Lucky. Wicked Business, uh, Hot Stuff, Manhunt. We will not read these. She had a couple of comic books. I don't think I've ever read these. I don't even know who. Hooker, Rosa, and Felicia. Whole different series. So, those are those. Oh. Motormouth, Metro Girl, Love in a Nutshell. Oh, and that's Wicked's audio. Alright, so, in the past couple of Janet books, Stephanie's been contemplating life and her relationships with Jack. Let's go to sleep. So, there's a big cliffhanger here. And at first, it felt like Hawaii. And I forget which, it was a couple of books ago. 22, 23, around there somewhere. Stephanie had to make a decision about who to go to Hawaii with. And it felt like it until we had the extenuating brand new circumstance. So let's get started with this. Lots of spoilers. I hope you've been following all week. You will see this Saturday. This is New Year's, but you will see this Saturday after all the other Janets have played out. So one of the main storylines, I guess the charges are dropped at the end, but we don't know that until the end. But this guy, Duncan Dugan, is a big ticket bond who failed to show for his court appearance. He's been accused of robbing a jewelry store on King Street at gunpoint, almost running over a crossing guard in his effort to leave the area, and leading 7 police cars on a high-speed chase before running out of gas. And they find him on the ledge of a building, and he's going to jump. And someone talks him down, but in the attempt to get down, he falls, and he gets severely injured. And he has to be taken to the hospital. So Stephanie goes and says, please let me know when he's ready to be released. He needs to go to the prison ward, etc. So later on, Stephanie goes back to the bond office, and Connie tells her that the owner of the jewelry store wants to see her. She goes to the jewelry store, and I think this is the effort. And when I read these books, I cannot read them without sharing them with you. It's just me. Connie took a business card off her desk. This might help. A man came in about an hour ago looking for you. He said he had a job that required your special skills. I took the card from her. I don't have any special skills. He asked me if you were good at finding people, and I said you were our best skip tracer. I'm your only skip tracer. I looked at the name on the card, Martin Plover. He owns Plover's Jewelers, right? That's the store Duncan Dugan got caught robbing. Yeah, small world. Plover told me he'd be in the store until 8 o'clock if you were interested. He also left his cell number on the back of his card. She goes to see him, and he wants to hire her to find Andy Manly, or Nutsy as they called him in high school, and apparently he likes the nickname. But he believes that Andy actually stole the diamonds and not uh, she's licking my butt. Yes, ma'am. Where was it? So he believes that Andy stole the diamonds and he wants her to find Andy. He said that he stole a tray of diamonds worth $1 million. She goes to her apartment later and Joe is there. He is going out of town. He's out of town most of the book, almost 90% of the book. And she needs to babysit Bob. And Bob becomes an asset in some instances and a hindrance in other instances. He's a witness in a trial, and they need him in Florida to testify. So Morelli tells her they talk about the Andy Nutsy case, and he tells her that the police and Ranger are both looking for this guy. And Morelli is not happy, thinking that she is going to be partnering with Ranger to find Andy. And she does some research on him. So then she goes to her parents' house and talks to Grandma about Andy, trying to get the gossip. In the Berg, the gossip thing is the beauty salon, the deli, the bakery, and the viewings. That's where you get your information. Dugan has disappeared from the hospital. So she talks to his mom, and she goes to talk to Andy's mom, and Stephanie gives Stephanie Andy's cell phone number, but that doesn't work. And his mom has like 20 cats in the house, and cats get out. And Bob helps a little bit there. So they decide to look for Duncan Dugan, and his house is cleaned out. No computer, not home. They talk to the deli owner near his house. He says he's a regular customer, and he comes in with a girl. So and the girl resembles Peanuts Lucy. So she goes to see Ranger. She tells him about Plum hiring her. Ranger says if something feels off about the whole case. And she's like, yes. He also helps. She asks him to help her with the security footage of the hospital. And they appear that two people came in, put Duncan on a stretcher, and wheeled him out, and nobody saw him. Ranger comes over, and he's not happy when Bob gets in the car. He's like, what's with the dog? But she's babysitting. She's got to take Bob everywhere, because if she doesn't take Bob everywhere, he's going to eat the furniture. They investigate Andy's room at the house, and they find a USB stick. And the USB stick reveals that Andy is a writer. And apparently he wrote about a fictitious guy, slightly more than slightly based on Duncan. And Duncan read the story and believed that he could be a Pink Panther and steal the diamonds. But when he was in the middle of it all, he chickened out. But he really thought that he could become the character. He really believed that he was the character. And it just doesn't go well. Lula believes that she's being stalked by Grendel. There's a whole story about that. That's a big deal at the end. So they go for a new FTA, and they're actually successful in quite a few FTAs this book, which is unusual. I really don't think we need to do all this. However, Bob has a moment in this book. We've never seen Bob have a moment before. Um, uh, I pinched my nose shut, tipped my head back a little, and walked into the house. Lula was on her feet, arranging the girls and tugging her tiny spandex skirt over her plus-size ass. Bob was in the middle of the room, humping the poodle doodle. Oh, crap, I said. Yeah, Lula said. Bob's doing the nasty with Sally Beale, and he's just not fooling around, he said. He's doing some impressive thrusting. We should try to separate them. That don't seem right, Lula said. He's banging his brains out. Seems like he should at least get the finish. He's neutered. How much of a finish can he get? Lula found her cell phone in her giant handbag and went to Google. It says here that he can finish. He just can't make puppies. She turned her attention from Bob to me. You're a mess. You got blood all over you. It's my blood from where Trindle's girlfriend hit me in the nose. She got away from me and ran out of the house, and while I was getting myself up off the floor, I heard a car crash. What happened out there? They rammed my Cherokee out of the way and took off. All right, somebody's getting in trouble over there. So Bob has an interesting afternoon. So then what are you doing? Oh, good God. um, I slid in next to Ranger, placed my black clutch on my lap, and buckled my seatbelt. Babe, Ranger said. Yup. Is there something you want to tell me? Morelli called. That's nice, but I don't care. I'm talking about your face. And she tells him what happened with the FTA. Ranger's taking her out to dinner with a client. He would feel better with the client and his wife if he had someone with him. He chooses to take Stephanie to help himself out, to enjoy the evening a little more. And the couple that he's having dinner with, the clients, quote, "Isn't this nice?" Brenda said. "We finally get to meet Mrs. Ranger." "You can call me Stephanie," I said. Ranger looked like he was enjoying himself. He ordered a seltzer water from the waiter and a glass of champagne for me. "You're probably wondering about my bruises," I said. "Oh, no, I didn't notice them. But now that you mention it, have you had work done?" No, I was just making one of those job-related incidents. I was trying to make an apprehension and I got sucker punched." "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were in law enforcement. Ranger is very private. We hardly know anything about you." "He's very protective," I said. "He's such a sweetie pie." You gotta love it. But wait till the end. You're gonna just die over the ending. So Lula had another Grendel experience. She's hallucinating about this guy at a hotel room. She goes and talks to Miss Manley again. She talks to her grandmother again. She goes back to her parents. She wants to borrow Big Blue. And Big Blue is so obvious and she wants to do surveillance. So her mother volunteers, which is unusual. Her mother never does this. So they take her mother's car to do surveillance, and her mother gets carried away and loses the side view mirror to the car. At least it didn't blow up. Ranger gives her a Ford Explorer, and Plava wants to talk to her. It doesn't go anywhere. They continue to look for Nutsy and Andrew and Duggan, and Sissy, the girlfriend, Lucy, tells them that Duncan and Andrew were childhood friends. They were on the computer a lot, and so they do all that. So they discover that Andy and Duncan are going to Maine. So they go up to Maine and chase after them. So she gets the real story from Andy about what happened, and it opens quite a few doors to the mystery of what happened. So she gets the whole story from him. Then he said that a homeless guy was killed during the incident. So they have Diggory, their grave digger, who's been in several books, and he's interesting fellow. Um, uh, he goes around looking for the body. He does after about 4 or 5 false tries. He eventually does get it though. I'm trying to think of. They're going after one of the bad guys, and Bob thinks it's a game, and he tackles Ranger. It's the only time you've ever seen Ranger get uh, derailed from capturing an escapee. So Lula's apartment gets firebombed, and so she's out of a place to live. So she's staying with Stephanie, and Nutsy is staying with Stephanie, and Stephanie can't stand either one of them, so she's going to stay with Ranger. And Lula's the next day, they have a contractor come in, and he fulfills Lula's dreams. He offers to do some cosmetic changes to her apartment and add a kitchen. And Lula is just thrilled out of her gourd she'll be able to cook. And he's going to give her some cabinet space and some appliances under the table. And she's just thrilled. And she's actually going to date the guy. He looks good to her. So we got a few more things going on here. And I forgot my spiel about who everybody is. But after 30 books, you should know who everybody is. The ending is a cliffhanger, like I said previously. The whole mystery here is what happened with the diamonds. And they eventually find the diamonds, and they eventually discover the true story about why Plover wants them back so badly. He owns the jewelry store, one of the town's best jewelry stores, and it turns out it's not quite as good as everybody thinks it is. What is the big one, Zales? I don't know. I'd rather have a book than a piece of jewelry. I mean, you can look at a piece of jewelry, but you can read and enjoy a book. That's just my thoughts. So the ending has a feel of the Hawaii book, like I said previously. And both men, Ranger and Morelli, decide to propose and mean it to Stephanie. At least we're sort of kind of led to believe that they mean it. And the only thing that means I'm trying to figure out if how it would change the series. Now, we know that Ranger is fine with Stephanie doing her job because he has done it with her. He has assisted her for most of these 30 books in making captures. Morelli, on the other hand, has always been against her job, and she loves her job. I mean, she's always, trying to figure out what else she could do, and she always comes back to the bond enforcement. And so, and Morelli had gotten the pool table, and she just, took that as a signal that he was not into marriage. At the end of this book, he says he gave his pool table away, and he's ready for a dining room table, and he's ready for marriage. And is he ready to deal with Stephanie in her job? And what happens if there's kids that way? What's going to happen with the series? Are we going to end at 31? I don't see it ending. If she does go with Morelli, What does that do with her relationship professionally with Ranger? Is he still going to work with her? Is he still going to give her cars? And the amount of times that Stephanie's house has been firebombed, apartment's been firebombed, Ranger security can pretty much handle something like that. But what if they start firebombing Morelli's house? What if they start doing that? What's going to happen there? See, that's just a complication. And the bigger complication, she's been evicted from her apartment. They no longer want her there. That has never happened in all 30 books. That's the huge twist in this whole scenario. She no longer has her own place. And there are visitors at her parents' house at this juncture. So she can either go home to her parents' house and work from there, or she can choose to marry one of the boys, or see if a landlord is willing to put up with her. So after 30 books, do you think we're actually going to get a wedding ceremony? We'll have to see. But we've got a year now. The new, where is it? The second book in this series is coming out next June. I forget the title. I saw it someplace. But we won't see 31 until at least November of 2024. And like I said, I hope I'm here to review it with y'all. I mean, I've always got this fear that I won't see the next book. It's just me. I've been like that my whole life, especially since my mother died. That's been a huge thing in my life, because she died in the middle of that book, and she will never know how it ends, and that's just how life is. So I hope you will continue with me in 2024. Maybe if I start logging these books in Goodreads, I'll get an accurate count. I read so many last year I couldn't keep track. But here it is, January 1. 360 more 5 days to go. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me.